has been 16 years since the contract with America was mythically and incorrectly credited with the Republican takeover of the House. Today, the current GOP leadership has unveiled its contract on America, although they're calling it Pledge to America, or in our fourth story, to simplify as Republicans are wont to, Lemon Pledge. At the back of a lumber company in Sterling, Virginia, House Minority Leader Boehner trumpeted the GOP's new governing agenda. At 21 pages, the blueprint is much longer than 1994's contract with America and manages to say even less. Mr. Boehner, in answering a question about the GOP's stand on traditional values, might as well have summarized the entire document with this: the GOP's unintentionally true soundbite of the day.
And the point we make in this preamble to our pledge is that we are not going to be any different than what we've been.
Bunch of white guys. Indeed, the rally outside that lumber factory might not bode well for Republicans. All 24 or so participants kind of chanting, "Let's go, Speaker Ring." But back to the pledge, its pages already yellowing with indecision. The document restates the longstanding GOP stance on low taxes and so-called smaller government. At the same time, it at least pretends to protect Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. And there is no detailed plan to reduce the deficit. But the revolutionary part of the shiny new pledge, is that it drew from the GOP's listening post, the website America Speaking Out, which I think was the name of this network before we chose MSNBC, where real Americans got to vote on their favorite stuff.
It's about listening to the American people, and as we listen to the American people, these are the things they told us.
Oddly, America's second most favorite thing was not included in the pledge. Yesterday, Think Progress asked Republican Congressman Kevin Brady of the House Ways and Means Committee.
The second highest idea voted up by popular vote was to end tax breaks for companies that ship jobs overseas. Do you expect something like that to be included with the new contract that's unveiled tomorrow?
You know, I haven't seen can you tell me what exactly that tax provision is?
Under further questioning, the congressman indicated that the highly popular idea would not be in the pledge, and indeed, it is not in the pledge.
We are not going to be any different than what we've been.
Then there is the GOP's health care mantra of repeal and replace. In the pledge, House Republicans propose keeping at least 7 of the most popular provisions of the Democrats' health care reform package, like a ban on denying coverage to people with pre-existing conditions. Eat your heart out, Mike Huckabee. But the pledge would rid Americans of the really pesky provisions of health care reform, like the means to pay for it. Congressman Bill Cassidy said it best.
You replace keeping the good stuff, but on the other hand, putting it within a matrix or a structure, if you will, which makes it more sustainable.
The matrix, you take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole in Congress goes. And by the way, if even the Republicans are willing to run on what they call the good stuff of health care reform, when will congressional Democrats finally start doing that? Meantime, it turns out that one of the authors of the pledge was a lobbyist up until April of this year. According to the Huffington Post's Sam Stein, Brian Wild was an aide to Minority Leader Boehner, but Wild's old lobbying firm represented corporate heavyweights like AIG and ExxonMobil. And we'll leave the last words to Minority Whip Eric Cantor, and then again, John of Orange.
We could provide them some certainty and relief to know that taxes wouldn't go up if we would just extend the current tax rates now.
We are not going to be any different than what we've been.